is it gonna break? Well, it shouldn't, because I tested it already. But this is how we're gonna fry it. So now I'm just gonna put it in from here. Start off with the churro pie. Go in the outside of my lattice. And so this is gonna give it a really cool effect if you just do a spiral like I'm doing here with the churro dough. And it's easy to now get there. Wow, that looks very satisfying. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a twist while I'm doing that. Continue on the outside with the spiral. All right, once we get the last one, this is gonna actually look very, very beautiful. Now we did do a lattice pattern on top. And how we do that, you're gonna start in the middle, very satisfying. Connect the dots, gonna make an X. Make sure to push in on both sides. And then from here, we're just gonna do the same thing, but in a smaller version. And this is gonna be the start of an amazing churro apple pie. All right, after I finish off, I'm gonna do a little movie magic for you. So I'm gonna take this, it's gonna lift up ever so slightly. Now we're gonna come over to the hot oil. I'm just gonna start letting it fry. Give it a good little sequence. Once you start getting the frying aspect, you dip it up, dip it down just like a little cookie in milk, and now we're gonna let it fry. All right, I'm gonna place this on and let that cool down. While that's cooling down, I'm not quite done with this yet. All right, to be able to make a churro pie, you gotta actually have a pie shell. So what you'll do, it's very satisfying. You'll go at an angle with the churro dough and you'll connect it right to the top. All right. Again, just going around. You see how the color is gonna be great once it's fried? Just imagine it already. I know your mouth is salivating, because mine is, to be honest with you. It's almost lunchtime. You see how I'm now folding it over, and this is gonna help it to stick. So we got one here, and now the last one is just go slow and kind of lift up and let it fall. And so that's how you make really, really beautiful desserts, is that you'll let them fall and you just little guide them, just like I'm doing here. All right, once you finish off with the last one, just gonna give that a little pop. Now, you're gonna look at me probably crazy. This is gonna go straight into hot oil. Now you're looking at yourself and you're like, why would I do that? Well, first off, is it gonna break? Well, it shouldn't, because I tested it already. But this is how we're gonna fry it. So now I'm just gonna put it in from here, just let it go. All right, guys, so look at this thing. Look at the bottom, how it came out. Wow, pretty nice, huh? So I'm gonna put this on my serving platter at the end. I already have my, my filling, as I would say, and I'm gonna start giving this in. And I'm gonna do a generous, generous, generous portion here. So set it in so it has butter, already some cinnamon in it. I'm gonna pull this and push, make sure everything's good. Now I'm gonna take my top half, I'm just gonna place this right on top. Whew, that is looking absolutely amazing. Now I'm gonna finish off with a little bit of cinnamon sugar right on top. Seeing that we are doing a churro, you need that cinnamon and sugar taste to it. So we're just gonna go right on top and then go right into the center. And as I said earlier, I'm not quite done with this recipe just yet. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna push in a little bit of a fork right into my small cups of ice cream. Now you go at a little bit of an angle, and it'll help now to pull it out, just like so. I'm gonna place this here. Do the same thing to the next one. Get it all out. So I put that there. And now what I'm gonna start is I'm gonna create like a little bit of a band. So you'll be going in between the cups. And so again, it's gonna be one of those things where you just let it fall. Then we do a little wrap around. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. Then I'm just gonna continue this. Go a little bit level up. And for everyone out there, this is not hard to replicate. I wanna stress this. You have to let it fall. You don't pipette it right on to where you want it to go. I'm doing it right above, and take your time with it. I wanna go right to the top and then cut it. The way I'm going to do that, I'm going to come back around for the last little tour, as they say, victory lap. And then I'm going to cut it right on the front. And then once you get to the last, we'll just need to close in. And so this will be our little stations to housing our sundaes. Now off to the freezer. Now once out of the freezer, what you'll do, you'll take one, just like this, 2, and then 3. Now from here, I already have a plate down in the hot oil. I'm just gonna let this hang so you can see what is going on. And I'm just gonna fry it. I'm gonna do it bottom side up. All right, so after the cooking, you gotta be very, very careful with this. So I have 2 spatulas up under a grill, so it's gonna help it kind of stay in the form. Now I'm gonna place it right on here and take it to my next spot. Just gonna add now a little ice cream right on the front. Just a little ball. I'm a vanilla fan, so why not go with vanilla with the apple pie? Who would have thought? It's gonna be great. So now after that, for me, I'm a pecan fan, and so we're just gonna add a few pecans right on top. You do it, and this is gonna be for everybody. And then also, do not forget to add a little bit more coconut. Now you're asking, why would I do coconut? Well, it pairs perfectly with the pecans, the brownie, and also the apple pie. Now to finish everything off, a little bit of caramel sauce right over it. So we're gonna go right here. Give you a few drizzles. Let it run a little bit and then we'll put it right on. Now that looks very appetizing. Here's a little hack for you. Use the back side of a spoon. It'll actually help you to get a better drizzle. So you're gonna push in, let it rest, and then we're just gonna go over it ever so slightly. And this is how you get the fine drizzles that they do in the restaurants. If you wanna recreate that at home, just do it just like so. And I'll do a little zigzag pattern. This is a simpler.
Here I have some milk chocolate, and we're going to pour some hot water over the top of it to melt the chocolate inside. Now we're going to take it like this, and we're just going to snip off the very corner. And now we're going to come over here to our ice cube, and we're going to do some long lines. We're going to do different sizes, and I think you can probably guess why. It's okay if they're stuck together, we can break them apart later. I have some churro dough here, and I'm gonna pipe it onto my baking sheet. You can use a star tip. If you don't have a star tip at home, you can use a bottle cap just like I did. You just want to cut a star shape into it, and you can put it onto a piping bag if you have one, or you can also use a freezer bag. The dough is a little bit thick, but that's okay because you're about to find out why. It's going to help us in our next step. Now we're going to turn our plug, and we're going to cut the dough using this ruler into triangles like this. And now we're going to pick them up with our hands and place them into the hot oil. And once they're golden, we're going to take them out of the oil, and we're going to put them into our dish of cinnamon sugar. We're just going to give it a little shake. And now we're going to place them onto this plate. Now we're going to come over here to our chocolate, and we're going to take a chopstick and insert it into our churro like this. Now we're going to take a piece of our chocolate and insert it just like that. Now we're going to pierce the last one and fill with our chocolate. Now we're going to take it and we're going to dip it into our dulce de leche and stick it with another one. Here's our last one. Dulce de leche. Top it with some whipped cream and some vanilla ice cream.
We're going to pipe the churros into the oil. We want to have a really straight churros. So my churros are well cooked now. So we just remove the excess of oil. Put them into the sugar. Same with the second one. So just be careful because the pop rocks start to pop straight away. And then we're just gonna shake the sugar and the churros to cover it with sugar. That's perfect. We're gonna put our churros covered with sugar and pop rocks into a plate. Gonna let them cool a little bit, leave them on the side, and move on with our chocolate. So I'm just gonna fill a paper cornet with some melted chocolate, close it. So now I'm gonna use my chocolate to create a nice decor. So I'm just gonna follow this drawing. Here we go. That's for the dark chocolate. And then we're gonna move into the white chocolate here. I'm just gonna put a little bit of black food coloring and start mixing to create a gray color. Perfect. And we're gonna transfer the chocolate into the paper cornet. There we go. I'm gonna close it, cut the end, and do the same here to cover the top one. Perfect. And we're going to do exactly the same with the white chocolate. So exactly the same at the end. And we're going to finish the decor with the white one. And here we go. We're gonna let it sit a little bit into the fridge for 15 minutes. We're gonna let our chocolate sit for 15 minutes until we can move on the end. So now we're ready. So I'm just gonna take my churros, put it into the chocolate that's set in the fridge, and we're just gonna cover it just like that, really slowly. We're just going to hold the paper and the plastic together with paper clips on each side. We want the chocolate to really cover the churros. And we're going to let it set in the fridge at least half an hour to have a chocolate really thick on the churros.